Hey y'all, it's Megan. If you're returning to my channel, welcome back, and if you're new, welcome aboard. So we are returning to the Skipper Test Kitchen. Today we're gonna do something that is super fun, and I hope it turns out good. If you're watching this on Thursday, when I intend to get this out, that's the day that the Jungle Cruise premieres. And in honor of the Jungle Cruise, we are going to be making a Skipper tradition. We're going to be making the Kungaloosh cake from the Skipper Canteen in Adventureland. Hopefully it's good. It's one of my favorites. Let's see how it goes. So let me read you the description of Kungaloosh. If you have no idea what that is, Kungaloosh was from the Adventurers Club. It was kind of a salutation. It was like just an exclamation that they would make at the Adventurers Club, which was a kind of an improv comedy club at Pleasure Island back in the day. If you want to read up on that, I'll leave a couple of links for some information that you can read about the Adventurers Club. It's got a long history. It's really cool. Skipper Ian, that I've mentioned in a couple of my other videos, was like the main guy at the Adventurers Club, so you may see him around. But Kungaloosh was one of their salutations. It was the big thing. So when the Skipper Canteen came out as a nod to the Adventurers Club, which we lost in 2008, they made the Kungaloosh cake. And the Kungaloosh cake is an African-inspired chocolate cake with caramelized bananas served with caramel cashew ice cream topped with coffee dust. So that's what we are endeavoring to make today, and we'll see how it goes. I'm not entirely confident in my capabilities to get this produced in such a way that it's going to taste like the one from the parks, but since I'm not in the parks, this is going to have to do. So we are having some Kungaloosh to watch the Jungle Cruise. That's what we're going to do. You see back there, I've got my ice cream maker ready to go. I'm going to do that in a little bit, but first I'm going to get the brownie mixed up. I'm going to be making a dense, fudgy, really thick brownie, and I'm going to actually put it into muffin cups over here because that's how, you know, the cake is a little compact little cake that comes on the plate. I'll put a picture here for you of when we got it last time. So that's what we are trying to go for here with this dessert. So I'm gonna put them into muffin cakes. I'm going to mix up the brownies. I will show you the recipe if you're interested. I will link it down below. Yeah, so let's get started with the brownies first. So the first thing that we're gonna do is, I've got my oven, it's preheating to 350, and I'm sure it'll beep here in a second. But you need to chop up a 4-ounce bar of semi-sweet chocolate. I've gone with Ye Old Ghirardelli because it's my favorite. So we're going to just kind of break that up and give it a quick chop. Got my cutting board here. And then you can melt it over a double boiler, or you can just put it in the microwave like I do. You need to get it melted with the butter, which is a 1.5 sticks of butter. So let's get this guy. Just rough chop it. Nothing fancy. It's me. We're not going fancy here. We have chopped up that chocolate just rough enough to kind of get it into manageable chunks here. I'm gonna put it into this bowl with a 1.5 sticks of butter, 12 tablespoons, and then we're going to microwave it in 30-second increments until it gets to a nice smooth consistency that we're gonna be able to mix in. I have poured my chocolate butter mixture, the 2 ounces of chocolate and the 1.5 sticks of butter, melted it, poured it into here. You're supposed to whisk it after each melting session, but because I was doing it in a teeny tiny little bowl, I just went ahead and melted it completely, and I'm going to whisk it up now, make sure that it's good and smooth. I think that's the entire purpose, is to make sure that it's smooth. I'm going to whisk this up, and then we're going to add the dry ingredients to it and get the rest of it put in so that we can get it baking. Next, we are going to add in the sugar and mix it until it's completely combined. This is 2 cups of sugar. I went ahead and measured it out because we've seen how slowly I do this in the past. So we got 2 cups of sugar here. Go ahead and pour that in. Yeah, this is not health food that we're working with here, guys. Not in the slightest. If you ever have made the oatmeal chocolate cookies, the no-bake ones, it's kind of what it looks like over here. Do you want to see? I can show you. Yep, it's pretty much what it looks like. Now we're gonna add 3 eggs and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Now you need to add in basically everything else. The last 2 ounces of chocolate chunks that we chopped up, a cup of cocoa powder. This is all I can find in my store today. Isn't that sad? I could only get the Hershey's. Hershey's is not my favorite, but a cup of cocoa powder, a cup of flour, and a teaspoon? Yeah, and a teaspoon of salt. And if you want to add more chocolate chips into it that are going to kind of stay, you know, the chocolate chunks will melt into the batter, but the chocolate chips will kind of stay as pieces in there if you want to add those, but I'm trying to stick to how the Kungaloosh actually is, so I'm not going to be adding the extra chips. So just gonna add the rest of the chocolate, the cocoa powder, flour, and salt, and then mix it up. So I have very thick batter now. Probably should have mixed it with something besides the whisk. It's very stuck in there. I'm going to go ahead and put these into my muffin cups over here and get it baking. Should take around 30 minutes, but because it's muffins and it's not as thick as the recipe calls for an actual pan of brownies, I'm gonna put it on for like 20 and then come and check them, see if they are done, and then we'll show you what they look like when they come out. Now that I've got my brownies going, because I want them to have time to cool completely before we try to put this whole thing together, I'm gonna go ahead and mix up the ice cream now. So here's everything I'm gonna need for the ice cream. And I'm doing a non-egg version of the ice cream because I don't like tempering eggs. I don't like dealing with eggs in general. My mom has always made ice cream without eggs. That's just how she's always done it, so that's how I do it now. Not that I make ice cream very often, but when I do, I don't use eggs. So I am going to be adapting a vanilla ice cream recipe and making it into a cashew ice cream, and then we're gonna add some caramel into it. See if we can get kind of close to the cashew caramel ice cream that they serve at the Skipper Canteen. If not, then I'm just gonna run to the store and grab some butter pecan. If it doesn't taste good, and then we'll just use butter pecan and pretend. So I am going to be doing 2 cups of heavy cream. That is the only dairy that I'm using. Other than that, you could make this vegan. I'm not entirely sure how to substitute the cream. I'm not vegan, so I'm not entirely sure, but because we are taking the eggs out, this is the only dairy that we're using, plus any dairy that's in the caramel. I'm not making my own because I will burn it. I know myself. So I'm just using the Ghirardelli, which I don't believe is vegan. Yes, it does have heavy cream in it. So you could make your own caramel and make it be vegan and take this cream out, but for right now, we're just not going to have eggs. So I'm going to do 2 cups of cream, which is this whole little pint. And then instead of whole milk, I'm going to be using cashew milk so that we can kind of get that cashew flavor in there. And also take some of the dairy out if that's something you're looking for. Do a cup of that. And this particular recipe calls for maple syrup, so we are going to be using they say a half a cup to a third of a cup, depending on your taste. I'm going to stick towards the half cup because we are going to be adding caramel in there, and I don't want there to be too much maple syrup flavor. I think there's going to be enough sugar with the caramel, so we're just going to kind of eyeball half a cup there of maple syrup, and then we're using that instead of the sugar. It's because we are not tempering the eggs. The sugar is not going to be melted, so we don't want to have to deal with the stove at all for this ice cream recipe. So it's just literally all going to be mixed in this bowl, and I'm going to throw it into the churner. Next, we need 1/8 of a teaspoon, which doesn't even seem like a real quantity, of salt. Can I even feel like just add a pinch of salt, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Like I said, this is just a modified vanilla recipe, so we'll see how it turns out. I've not made this yet. So we've got that. We are going to mix that all together. So I'm going to churn this exactly how it is, and then once it is churned a little bit, if you know what homemade ice cream looks like when it's done churning, it still needs to go into the freezer for a while to harden up. At that point, I'm going to add in, I've got a half a cup of really pulverized cashews because I don't want big chunks. So there's, block my face. There's the cashew dust. I'm going to mix that in, and then I'm going to add the caramel in at that point and just kind of stir that in by hand. That way we've kind of got like little rivers of caramel going through it, and a few of the pieces, we don't want this to all sink to the bottom, which is what would happen if we put it in right now. It would all just like sink to the bottom and not mix throughout. So I'm gonna get that going in the ice cream churn, which is just, you put it into the little cylinder in the center, cap it, put ice and layers of rock salt around it, and let her go. So I will see you guys when that gets done, and we'll add our mix in. Okay, so the ice cream is done churning. It just, you know, you let it go until it kind of sounds like it doesn't want to go anymore, or it actually just stops. So that's where we're at right now. Let me show you what we're looking like. looks like ice cream in there. And now I'm going to mix in our cocoa, our cashew dust, and our caramel. Beanie, are you taste testing that for me that I threw on the ground? What do we think? Do we like it? Take my ground up cashews, which like I said, I ground into a pretty dust-like consistency. I'm just gonna sprinkle some of those in there. I don't want it to have too many pieces of nut in there because the ice cream at Skipper Canteen is very smooth. Theirs doesn't have any pieces of cashew, but I just want to make sure that we kind of really got that cashew flavor in here. I've mixed in my cashews, so you can see it's a little nutty in there. Now I'm just going to take my caramel and I'm just going to measure this one with my heart. I don't know how much I'm going to add yet, but I'm going to put some caramel in there because it's caramel cashew ice cream and we want to taste it. So I'm going to go ahead and drizzle some of this in there, mix it up a little bit more, and then I'm going to put it in the freezer, let it keep hardening a little bit more because it's still kind of soft. I'm gonna let that harden a little bit while I get my banana caramelized, and then we should be able to put this puppy together. Should we wait to try it all together? Hey babe, you're gonna like this.
Like what?
This ice cream. I might be a genius. I'm gonna put that on a flip-flop and I'd eat it. So our last step is to caramelize a banana, and I'm just going to cut it into little rings, and I've got a plate of sugar here. I don't know if you can even tell that that's sugar. That's sugar. Should have used a not white plate, but here we are. So I'm going to cut them into little rings, going to kind of put the sugar on each side of it, and I'm going to drop it into that pan. Do y'all see this? I cooked all of those. Y'all saw me cook them all. We seem to have had a taste tester come through my kitchen. Got a pan heating right there. Wow, that looks higher than medium high. Knock that back a little bit. So I'm just going to slice this banana up, rub it in some sugar, and then drop it in there for a couple minutes. We'll see if we can get them caramelized. Spritz of the stuff there so that it doesn't stick. Let's open this banana up here. Do y'all peel your bananas like this? I always tried to peel them from the other side, like, you know, like you do, till I met my husband, and then he showed me the proper way to peel a banana, you know, like a monkey does. Press you into some sugar. I don't know, can you even tell? There's sugar on there. But I'm gonna take you over here. Oh yes. Oops. Ooh, I messed up my caramelization. Let those go, get caramelized on the other side, and I'm going to get ready to plate. All right, so we are ready to plate. Here is our little cupcake, our little cake, and we're going to go ahead and add our caramelized bananas. I just did like 5 little pieces. Add those. I honestly don't remember where the banana was. Like, was it on the cake? Was it on the side? I don't remember. So we're just gonna add them around. You can either eat them or not. Look at it. Oh, it looks so yummy. All right, let's get a little scoop out here. It's still very soft, but that's all right. I don't feel like waiting another few hours to eat it. So, and a little extra ice cream never hurt anybody. There we go. Put some of that on there. And the last thing is to dust it with some espresso powder, coffee dust, whatever you got. I have little instant coffee things that we use for baking cakes. That's what I'm gonna use, and I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of it on there because it just helps to bring out some of the chocolate flavor. There is, whoop, let you see the cake itself, it's melting off there. There is our homemade Kungaloosh. I'm so excited to try this, y'all. It is melting so fast, but here we go. Should we just get some of everything in the one bite? Like, here's some banana. Let's get some cake. Some of that ice cream. It's not a pretty bite. I didn't say it was gonna be a pretty bite. Pretty good. The cake is not the same texture. Like, not even close. I don't know how to describe the actual Kungaloosh. Sorry, these bulbs are really yellow. I don't know how to describe the actual Kungaloosh besides just like the thickest, densest chocolate cake on the planet. It's not really a brownie consistency. It's not really a fudge consistency. It's not really a cake consistency. I mean, it is thick, it is dense. Like, it had a nice crust on the outside. It was so heavy and it was so small. I was like, we should have ordered one for each of us, but it was totally enough because it was so sweet and it was so dense. But I mean, the ice cream's pretty close, I think. Even if it's not close, it's delicious. I really like the ice cream for sure. And you can actually taste a little bit of the espresso on there. The coffee flavor is nice. I definitely over caramelized the bananas. Like, there's a little bit of that like burnt sugar flavor when you take it just slightly past caramel. So I'm probably gonna pull the bananas off because they're not my favorite. But the cake with the ice cream, pretty delicious. So the skipper, very happy, very excited to watch Jungle Cruise. I'm going to do a review of it once I finish watching it. Not that I haven't started yet. But once I do watch it, I'm going to do a review of it, see what I think of it, because part of me is really nervous that they're going to, you know, it's my jungle. Don't mess up my jungle. But the other part's really excited that this ride that has been loved for so many years by so many people is getting some big screen attention. So I'm really excited to watch it, and if you are gonna watch it, let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you are going to watch Jungle Cruise, and let me know, are you gonna try this melted hot mess? It's really delicious, I swear. If you're going to try this, let me know how yours turns out below, or if you make it and you take a picture of it, tag me on Instagram, let me see how it comes out. So hope you guys enjoyed. I certainly have. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, y'all.